So Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar insists she's not a multimillionaire, and she's now offering an explanation in air quotes there about why her financial disclosures say she and her husband have a net worth of $30 million.
Because she knows at the end of the day, no matter what she does, her voters will keep voting for her.
So Ilhan Omar went from barely worth thousands to reportedly worth up to $30 million. And then suddenly she says, actually, never mind, I am poor. So she waited all these months to come to the conclusion that actually we don't have $100,000 together. We don't even bring in that kind of money. We're not worth that kind of money. And so the next question is, what happened when she's caught lying to the IRS? Good afternoon, beautiful people, and welcome to Nelly Miranda. As always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Okay, so Ilhan Omar's story is as confusing as it gets. With her, you don't know if it's up, down. You don't know. Up can be down, down can be up. She is the type to tell you that the sky is pink all the while you are looking at a blue sky. And then she'll proceed to tell you that you're stupid for not being in agreement with her. But this story isn't just about the money. It's about transparency and trust. Luckily for her, her voting blog does not care about transparency.
So Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar insists she's not a multimillionaire, and she's now offering an explanation in air quotes there about why her financial disclosures say she and her husband have a net worth of $30 million. Chanley Painter is here with the details. Hey, Chanley.
Hey, Charlie. So get this. The Minnesota representative, she's doubling down that she's not a millionaire after her income disclosures sent shockwaves through Capitol Hill and calls from the president for a fraud investigation. So Representative Ilhan Omar now insisting the initial numbers in the disclosure filed last May were completely off base, which was an accounting that showed her net worth of up to $30 million. But now an amended filing shows shared assets with her husband of up to just $95,000. A spokesperson saying this, quote, the amended disclosure confirms what we've all said all along. The Congresswoman is not a millionaire. Well, the original disclosure signified a stark increase in income, listing that Omar and her husband held assets valued between $6 million and $30 million, a roughly 3,500% jump in net worth from 2023 to 2024. Many accrediting it to her husband's two businesses, a winery and a venture capital firm. Reportedly, aides of Omar said she did review the filing before submission, but didn't flag the errors. But Omar's lawyer is blaming the reliance of accountants for the error. Well, now she's saying that she did amend the disclosure voluntarily as soon as this discrepancy was identified.
Yes, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is now saying very clearly that she is not a multimillionaire. And in fact, she said the reports suggesting that she was worth up to $30 million were wrong. They weren't exaggerated, not misunderstood, just flat out wrong. But with Chapter, you can never go wrong. If you are 65 and up and are on Medicare, you are probably on the wrong plan that is best suitable for your needs. There are so many different plans, coverage, and costs. And I'm sure you guys try to do your research, but the government websites are so confusing. For only 20 minutes of your day, Chapter will walk you through all of your options and make sure that you are getting the best plan suitable for your needs. The call is completely free. There's no pressure to sign up, so you have nothing to lose, but everything to gain, including a peace of mind. Imagine an emergency medical situation comes up and your current plan doesn't even cover it. That would be a complete nightmare. So you owe it to yourself to double check. So again, if you are on Medicare and you love yourself just as much as I love you, please dial 646-817-8160. That is 646-817-8160, or go to askchapter.org/Nelly. Now back to the story. According to updated disclosures, her actual reported assets are somewhere between roughly $18,000 and $95,000. So from tens of millions of dollars down to less than six figures. I find it extremely hard to believe. I was born at night, just not last night. With all of the money that the Somalian community stole in her district, all the money that they donated to her campaign, which she has claimed that she returned back, you're still going to tell me that her assets is at $95K or less. Yeah, okay.
It's not all just politics. There's reality here.
She said it there. She said, I understand politics. She sure does. She represents Minneapolis, one of the most left-wing districts in the country. And the Somali bloc, which is her bloc, I mean, she's told us that the Somali president is our president, her president. That's her base. She gets like 95% of the vote there. It's a very easily manipulated and organised voting bloc. And there's a hell of a lot of fraud there, as Dr. Oz has just been telling us. You know, billions of dollars, and it's from the Somali community, as Nick Shirley, the conservative YouTuber, showed us so vividly in December. And so that's the money that fuels her campaign, no doubt. Certainly that fraud money, Dr. Oz says, from defrauding Medicaid and all sorts of social services, floods into union coffers, and then it floods into the Democrat Party. So she definitely, like all Democrats, is benefiting from this turning of the blind eye by Tim Walz, the governor. And so she understands that there is never any accountability. She can have her husband going from a net worth of $51,000 to $30 million just inexplicably, and be brazen and not care, because she knows at the end of the day, no matter what she does, her voters will keep voting for her.
What triggered all of this to begin with was her earlier financial disclosures filed through Congress. It showed her household net worth could be between $6 million and $30 million. That's what triggered everything. That's what got the media's attention and political attention. That's what essentially got everyone, literally everyone, asking the same questions about how is it even possible that she went from, I don't know, pennies on the dollar to being a multi-millionaire overnight.
Heat up on Ilhan Omar. They want to know how she got all that money.
What your response is to the Oversight Committee launching an investigation into your net worth, you and your husband's net worth. They're claiming that it's risen rapidly. What's your response to what they're saying?
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. All right, Mr. Comer, you were in banking before politics, right? So she suddenly, in 1 year, after being worth a few $1,000s, is now worth $30 million. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, and the way the financial disclosure forms are, there's a big variation. But here's what we know: she went from zero to anywhere between $6 and $30 million in a year. Now, why is that relevant? First of all, I don't know many people that go from 0 to 30 without having a legitimate business. Her husband is in some type of finance business, but we don't know what it is. It doesn't appear to be private equity. Doesn't appear to be venture capital. So we just have questions. What exactly is the business that you're involved in? It was kind of like the same questions we asked Hunter Biden that he never could answer. But then, you know, she won't answer any questions. The Ethics Committee is supposed to investigate members. We're not supposed to investigate individual members, but this business is in her husband's name. So we can investigate her husband, and we are going to do that because we're, as you know, in the middle of this Minnesota welfare fraud. And there's been a lot of accusations about a circle of influential Somali Americans that are benefiting from these financial scams in Minnesota.
So what exactly changed? According to Omar and her team, those numbers came from valuation errors tied to her husband's businesses. So both the venture capital firm and the winery, which both appeared to be a laundering front, allegedly, their assets were apparently overvalued in disclosures. So now, when she first saw those disclosures, I'm assuming they agreed on the valuation, and now they're walking back on it. Now she has no idea. She is completely innocent. She is just a damsel in distress. She does not know.
When she started in 2019, she had a negative net worth. Her personal household net worth has gone from negative to $30 million, and her husband's Rose Lake Capital firm, a consulting firm, has gone from just dollars up to $25 million in value.
Yes. So what's interesting, you have her husband, Wynette, who started Rose Lake Capital, to your point. So Roselake Capital, you noted $42 and then skyrocketed to millions within a year. And these are according to public filings that she put forward, according to documents in a lawsuit.
Her own numbers.
Yes. And it caught the attention of, listen to this, not Trump's FBI, Biden's FBI. So in 2024, Biden's FBI raised questions about this skyrocketing wealth, some of these business decisions, and even Wall Street experts say, why is a former political consultant, that's what Wynette was, running a massive financial firm that, by the way, we've never heard of, and we're on Wall Street and we think we would have heard of it? A lot of questions.
Not to mention they also have a winery that has also experienced a similar, in California, by the way, that has experienced a similar explosion.
And this is where you have to understand something very important. Congressional financial disclosures do not show the exact numbers. They show ranges. So if an asset falls into a high bracket, it can make someone appear far wealthier than they actually are. But even with ranges, a jump from under $250,000 to potentially $30 million is extreme. She put those numbers forth originally, and with numbers like that, if they were in fact false or she believed them to be, she herself would have tried to correct them. Omar says that she relied on her accountant. She says she wasn't directly involved in her husband's business valuations and that she corrected the filing. And then her legal team says that this was unintentional. Nothing illegal was done. It was simply a mistake that they are now trying to correct. And look, that might be true, though I highly doubt it. But the main issue is when you are a public official, especially in Congress, you don't just get to go, whoops, sorry. This story is bigger than just Ilhan Omar because it taps into something people across the country already feel. How do politicians get rich? Are disclosures actually accurate? And who's actually checking the numbers? For years, decades even, there's been concerns about lawmakers building wealth while in office. It's nothing new. Ilhan Omar isn't the first, and she certainly will not be the last. But I want to hear from you. Do you think this was really just an accountant mistake, or do you think that there's more to this story that we are not being told? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you got any value from today's video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any future updates. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.